If you are a real entrepreneur, then you're always going to start another company. It's just in your blood. What you have to understand is that you only have so many startups in you. You get tired, and that your time has to have an ROI. So ask yourself honestly, are you working on the best possible thing that you could be working on right now? Or have you spent so much time working on something that is not quite working, only now you don't want to quit because of all that sunk cost? Well, founders have been mind wiped that they only do a startup for missionary reasons. And whilst that's partially true, it's also totally bullshit. You want to make it big at some point, whilst changing the world all the while. But your investors only care about making money, and your staff, whilst they may virtue signal on Twitter, can only really justify the sacrifices they make at 11 p.m. on a Saturday night that they are going to at least get a Tesla out at the end of all this. Now, you're welcome to virtue signal too, but even to 100% believe it. But if your startup sucks, it's not about changing anything. Martin, he had a dream, but I like to believe it actually changed something, albeit not in his lifetime. You can have a dream to do good, but if no one cares, you're not changing anything, buddy. Like, I've got a friend who's blown his entire inheritance on social change, right? Problem is, everything he's done has no traction. It's only when he finally admitted, after my commercial mind washing, that his change need traction. I mean, that he really kind of finally understood that he actually had to do something that would work, that he would then become to see that change that he would want to see in the world. Because, like it or not, startups need to generate an ROI. You can work on anything. Why not work on something that works? Now, I've convinced maybe a dozen founders to quit their startup to date. Now, on the one hand, it goes against all startup doctrine that everyone is capable, competent, entitled to achieve their dreams. But on the other hand, it helps smart people realize that they are spinning their tires when that passion could otherwise be spent on something where the rubber hits the wheel. Many startups literally just bears shitting in the woods. We know it's happening, but it's not even something we bother considering. Do you want to be Martin sharing speeches in the woods which no one actually even hears? Of course not. So when I have calls about whether a founder should quit their startup, the funny thing is that there's always something else, right, that they actually want to talk about. An idea they have had they're actually passionate about, but they feel they don't want to talk about it as it's like cheating on their baby. Once you get the founder talking about the new thing they could work on, they just can't stop talking about it. They just need to forget about the cheating part to feel free to be who they wish they could be, but working on what they actually care about. Not that the new thing is always better, right? But it could be, or at least give you an ROI that pays by making you genuinely happy. I told you I've had a lot of founders quit, but quit what they're working on. But on the face of things, that sounds like a terrible thing to do. I mean, I guess it was, but I've always been thanked for it afterwards. Now, look, take a chap in his 30s in Thailand. That's a brilliant marketer. He used to work for me, by the way. He started what I told him was an idiot idea about 4 years ago. And then 4 years later, I did the math with him on a call, and he lost more per year than he could make per month doing basic consulting, if you inverse it. I may have never liked the idea, but the metrics and the math proved my point for him. Now, take a lady in the 40s in Canada who, after a high-flying career in banking, then went off looking after the kids, is back hitting the startup trail. She hired me to help her with her deck, and I told her what she was doing made no sense to me. She dropped it the next day, and a week later focused on her side project that she really wanted to focus on, but didn't want to lose the time she spent on the other venture. You see, everyone has an ROI, as we've talked about before, but it also has a passion ROI. What you're passionate about might be what you should be working on, but that you don't have the balls to do so. The passion I'm talking about isn't just about hippy dippy feel good stuff, but that you could do a lot. You could also make a lot of money by doing something that really solves a problem that your audience has. I'm slightly different in that I have a slightly autistic willingness to share what might not be socially acceptable normally, but is actually grounded in pure logic. So you think of like Rain Man, he just drops the matches on the floor and he counts them, and that's how many matches there are. If you have options, I'll count how many matches are in that matchbox, but I'll also tell you that some of those matches are worth more than the other ones. So you get the facts, but also the value in them. So if you want to have a call with me as to whether or not you should quit your startup, it's going to be a Socratic conversation. I would never say flat out quit and do something else until I've properly talked and you've explicitly asked me to be honest. We're going to discuss your business, what you are doing, and the results you've achieved to date. We will discuss why it's not working and the other options that you have. I'll set out your other options and discuss them with you. You will be drawn to a certain path of action and we'll discuss that more. If you want to know what I think, I'll tell you, but with caveats. It's only based on what you have told me and that you will know more. So honestly though, if you feel you should quit, you already kind of know the answer. A call with me is more to confirm what you're already thinking and what you're already feeling, but it's your decision. I'll just help you make the best decision for you. Now, if you want to discuss how to shut down a company whilst treating all your stakeholders well, helping your staff get jobs, etc., we can also do that. Now, if you've been looking for someone smart who's had these talks before, you found him. So what now? Book a call and let's get your head right. Keep hustling, guys. Let's do this now. Bye.